fork? Do you have your fork? Do you have your knife? You got your spoon, a napkin? You're going to need a good napkin. You know why? It is time for true crime lunchtime. Or is it lunchtime true crime? I think it's lunchtime true crime. I can never remember what I call this. But we get together every day at lunchtime and we talk true crime. We talk Snapped. We talk an accomplice. We talk someone they knew. We talk true crime. But first, you got to hit the like button. On every video, I'm telling you, I just learned this recently. On every single video, you're supposed to hit the like button. I thought you hit like the like on Monday and you was good all week. Nope, every video. So now you know. So hit the like button and subscribe. Anyway, ciao. Crystal Mangum. I had never heard this woman, right? I sort of knew her story a little bit in the back of my mind, but I had never heard this story. So look, I'm going to tell it to you like it was told to me. So this dude, can't remember his name, stumbles up to his brother's apartment. He was like, oh, you got to help me. I've been stabbed. And the brother was like, oh my goodness, what happened? We're going to take you to the hospital. So they take him to the hospital and they're like, oh yes, he was very, very stabbed up. But they thought they could fix him. So they were like, okay. So they patched him all up, got him over there in the hospital. He's feeling better. And they were like, okay, now that we've plugged all the holes, what happened? He was like, see, what had happened was me and my girlfriend, we had a fight and she stabbed me. And the cops were like, oh, that is terrible. We're going to go find her. So they go find the girlfriend and they go to the house and they said it looked like the Tasmanian devil had gone through that house. Things were broken up. Dishes were broken. Furniture's turned over. Everything is knocked out of the way. So they were like, okay, probably more than one person got hurt in this. So they talked to her and she was like, yeah, we had a fight and he was over here trying to kill me and it was terrible. And they were like, okay, so it was like mutual combat. By the way, ma'am, you can't be stabbing people because there are laws and stuff like that. She was like, oh, laws. Okay, laws. Listen, I totally forgot about the laws. Thanks so much for letting me know. I will make a note and we'll keep that in mind. And so the cop goes back to the police station and he's telling his coworker about what happened. They said, yeah, this lady, Crystal Mangum. And the other cop was like, wait, the Crystal Mangum? And the first cop was like, yeah, how you know her? And they were like, oh, from the Duke lacrosse case. See, I didn't know that either. But apparently this happened down in South Carolina, North Carolina. Child, one of the Carolinas is dangerous down there as far as I'm concerned. But apparently years ago in the early aughts, she was a single parent, trying to make ends meet, and she was hired for a lacrosse party as a topless dancer. I don't know what happened. One thing led to another, and she goes to the police station and she says, I got assaulted. So they were like, oh my goodness, who assaulted you? And they gave her pictures of all these people. She was like, all of them. And so the cops were like, oh my goodness. So they arrest the Duke lacrosse team and they press charges and they take the DNA or whatever. Then the DNA comes back and none of those people assaulted her. And she was like, oh, none of them? So, because when she made the initial claim, the university was like, we're closing down the lacrosse team. Everybody's getting fired. This is terrible, blah, blah, blah. Then they found out she lied. So it was like, oh, but everybody in that town, everybody in South Carolina knew her name. So she couldn't get a job. She couldn't get an apartment. She couldn't do anything. So she went to live with her mom, her and her kids living over there at her mom's house. She was only at her mom's for a couple of weeks. And then this handyman comes by and the handyman was like, hey girl, you awful cute, Miss Crystal. And she's like, thank you. My mom's house is crowded with me and my kids. I wish I had a place to stay. And he was like, oh, I got you should come and stay at my place. I have a place. I have rooms. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to make sure your whole family feels comfortable. Your daughter has a room. Your son has a room. And you can have my bedroom. I'm just going to sleep here on the couch. Don't you mind me? I'm going to be right over here on the couch. And she was like, that is so nice. Thank you. So they were living like a little family. He was like, oh, this is the family I always wanted. But keep in mind, this is an older gentleman. This is a pretty young woman. And you know, probably he did that out of the goodness of his heart. Probably he was trying to push up on something. And if I know men like you know men, like, he was trying to get a little something. They said initially he was sleeping on the couch, but before too long, he was sleeping in her bed. Stand on your head if you didn't see that coming, because I saw that one coming with my eyes closed. So they having like a nice little relationship, okay, whatever. Everything is going good. And he was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to introduce you to my family. Oh, it's going to be a good day. So he gets up one Saturday morning and he starts drinking. And he starts drinking and drinking and drinking to the point that he's drunk. He drunk. But They still go to the family picnic. She meets the whole family. Everybody's like, she's so cute. Oh, it's so nice. Oh, y'all little family, whatever. So they get there early in the day. They stay all day where he continues to drink all day. And then they come back to the apartment. Well, Crystal knows the cops. Everybody know Crystal. So there's a cop in the parking lot of the apartments writing somebody a ticket or whatever. And the cop was like, hey, Crystal. And she was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And this dude is like, why are you talking to him? Why you flirting with this man? You flirting with the man right in front of my face? Because he's drunk, right? And he's stupid. So first of all, dude, you're old. And she's young and hot. You think other men are not going to be interested in her? Well, his insecurity got the best of him, and they start bickering back and forth. So the cop is like, hey, what's going on? Crystal's like, no, I'm fine. It's okay. We just have a little, he's drunk. So the cop is like, okay, take it in the house. Y'all can't be out here in the parking lot fighting. They were like, okay, we're going to go in the house. So they go in the house, and he commences to beating the tar out of Miss Crystal. Beats her like a bongo drum. It is not cute the way he beats her up. And then finally, he was just like, okay, I'm getting tired because I'm old. I'm going to stop beating you right now. And so she goes in the kitchen and gets a knife and stabs him with an inch of his life. This seems like self-defense or revenge or a public service starvation, because at the time, it was not a homicide. It was just a starvation. So he was like, okay, my cute hot young thing done stabbed me up. But he's healing. He's in the hospital, and maybe she's going to catch a teensy charge, but it's going to be fine. Only he's old and possibly an alcoholic. So something goes bad, things go all the way to the left, and the next thing you know, flatline, he's dead. Oops. So it goes from like minor stabation, I think that's called assault or something, child, I don't know. You know, I'm not good on the law, to murder. And everybody's like, oh, it's Crystal Mangum from the Duke lacrosse thing. Oh, no. We got to put her in jail because she didn't get convicted for the thing with the lacrosse people, but now she has killed a man. Obviously, she has to go to jail. But her defense attorney was like, no, she was assaulted. She was defending herself. We're going to be able to get her off. And so everybody was like, okay, we're going to go to court and we're going to see what happened. And Crystal puts on her good wig and she sits there and she's like, okay, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to blink real hard and look real innocent. And she was doing good. Everything was going good. I was like, oh, okay. So maybe, yeah, she has this checker past, but she's a young girl. It's going to go good. And then her ex-boyfriend takes the stand. Now, listen, they say her ex-boyfriend didn't want to get up there, but like, he was like, well, if you're going to force me, then I'm going to tell the whole truth. It didn't go good. Also, the story was a little bit unexpected for me, although now, in retrospect, it should not have been. So the old boyfriend, who was a dumpy-looking older man, Crystal girl, you got a type? Old dudes who think you're hot and cute and they gonna take care of you. Okay, girl, I see you. So, old dumpy dude who gets this hot young thing, and she moves in with him with her children, and they're living together. Okay. And they get into an argument one night, and they like, I get the feeling they probably were not windmilling on each other. But in my mind, that's what a fight looks like. Like, I don't know. That's just, so they windmilling on each other. She's like, stop. They get into a smack fight, and then the police get called, and the cops break them up. And she was like, okay, I'm calm. We have calmed down. While the police are there, keeping her boyfriend from hitting her, instead of just like packing her bags and leaving, she goes into the kitchen and gets a knife and tries to kill him. While the police are there. Crystal girl, was you drunk? I mean, you're supposed to like stab people in the privacy of your own home when the officer is not there. So then you can say, okay, I'm not trying to give tips to people because that would be bad form or bad karma or something. But Crystal girl, I'm going to need you to use a little bit of better judgment. So anyway, the cops stop her from stabbing up this ex-boyfriend. And so the ex-boyfriend gets on the stand and tells the story. And it's like, you know where the story is going, right? All was lost. Because the jury was like, so wait. Now, the judge was like, you cannot mention the Duke lacrosse thing. Can't mention it at all. These people live in this community, so they probably already know. But they gonna sit here and act like they don't know. Okay, fine. But then the ex-boyfriend gets up and tells a story that is shockingly similar to the murder that she's accused of now. Oh, I'm sensing a pattern. Also, girls, hide your grandpas, hide your uncles, because Crystal gonna be back on the loose soon. The jury goes out. They out for 3 to 4 seconds. They didn't even get a sandwich for lunch, and she gets convicted. And she's like, I do not understand how this keeps happening to me. Crystal girl, I'm sensing a pattern. And the only consistent thing in all of these stabations is you. I'm just saying, if the same thing keeps happening over and over and over, it might not be them. It might be you. Okay. She probably not watching this in prison. Or maybe she is. Hey, Crystal girl on your contraband cell phone. How you doing? So anyway, Crystal in jail. She down there in South Carolina. She's in jail. But she got like 14 to 18 years. And she was a college student. Now, I do not advocate going to jail. Not at all. Not to jail, not to prison, not to any place where they lock you up and they don't have good spa services. Because, So, the good thing, though, is because she only got 14 to 18 years. And this was like 10 years ago. Crystal gonna be out any minute. But she had a couple of kids. Can you imagine the peace and quiet? When my kids was little, I would have been willing to go to jail just for the peace and quiet. I was like, if somebody says mommy one more time, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind. In jail, nobody going to call you mommy. I mean, I don't know how they roll. Maybe they're like, mommy. Ooh, she's a hot mommy. Something like that. But it's like, can I get a glass of water? Can you make me a peanut butter and jelly? He's touching the air around me. Ooh, those kids. Anyway, so, Crystal went to jail, and she was a college student, so maybe she got some peace and quiet and she could finish her degree. Prison might be the best thing to ever happen to Miss Crystal. And the final shot they showed her, that wig, Miss Crystal. Okay, they're supposed to teach you a trade while you were in prison. Please, God, let them have taught her hairdressing or wig making or something else, because it fully looked like a dead cat was just sat on her head. A mad dead cat. All her hair standing up, looking crazy. Eyeliners were child was a mess. So, Crystal should be getting out soon. Coming to a beauty shop near you. This is what I'm going to tell you, though. You got an older daddy. You got an older uncle. Keep them away from Crystal. Crystal can't be near the knives. She can't be near the uncles. She can't be near the older dudes because they not going to be safe. All that to say, Miss Crystal Mangum is now locked up. They're in South Carolina, scheduled to be set free soon. So please be careful. And ladies, if you're out there, the lesson that we have learned, because each one of these snaps teaches us a life lesson, I believe from the bottom of my heart. And the lesson in this snap has been, if you are going to stab your partner, which I do not recommend, I think it is a terrible idea, don't do it with the police standing there. Because you might be a bad witness. That police officer, the jury gonna believe him. They gonna believe him. So you wait until the police officer, do you need to write this down? I could pause while you get a pen. Okay, you got a pen? You gonna put it in your phone? Okay. If you're gonna commit a crime, wait till the police are not standing there. You're welcome. Okay, enjoy the rest of your lunch, and I will see you later. Bye.